Cascade Hoops Talk, Billy D. Hey, I got Scott Moore, head men's basketball coach here at Grace College. We're sitting in this beautiful facility where we're going to play the Crossroads Cascade Classic. How excited are you, Scott?
Yeah, it's here, man. It's it's funny. We had this idea last year, honestly, about this time, and to see it come to fruition so quickly and have these teams, both Oregon teams, having Eddie and Justin bring their teams out here and just committing to this, and then Steve and I going back next year is it's pretty special. It's kind of neat, and a lot of credit to you for doing this.
Well, this is the new face of NAI basketball. This type of thing, because you've got to play top-notch talent, to stay for your strength of schedule and the ratings. I see it changing all across the NAI. Do you notice the same thing?
Yeah, you've seen, these trips have been taken before, obviously. Teams have gone cross country and played in games, and there's some other tournaments that are being held now. But I just think that now coaches are more willing to go play. I mean, think about Justin's preseason here, right? You start with Jessup, and then you play 3 Crossroads teams on the road. And all that's going to do is help prepare you for conference play and then hopefully tournament play. And those teams, whether they win or lose, they should. You got to take into account what they're doing, and I think what he's doing, some of these other teams are doing, are pretty fantastic.
Be nice if we could get back to at least 30 games so we could expand these tournaments and get more not only cross conference but cross country. What is it like when you play a team from across the country and it's a completely different style?
Well, it's fun because that's how it was when we were in the national tournament, at Branson all those years, and then obviously South Dakota. You looked forward to matching up with teams in the Cascade or the GPAC or something like that, where you know about them a little bit and you read about the players, but you don't see them, right? So I think that, when first time I walked in and I was at Branson and I saw Adam Hepker, for Mid-American NAS, that's the team and that's the guy that I wanted to be. And it's funny being older now and just having those stories to talk about, but it's pretty special. I think these kids, with social media and with how much information we have out there, they almost know these kids without ever meeting them, right? So to bring them together and to be able to play, same thing with coaches and great programs. It's pretty neat.
As you know, I followed small college basketball my whole life. I was raised with the Oregon Tech fan all my life. And up until, I'm going to say even 5 years ago, it was really hard to get information from around the country. But now with all the social media and video and everything, you're right. Players all across the country know each other. Coaches are more familiar with players around the country. Makes it a little funner, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It's making it more big time, honestly. And I think that's what you asked about this tournament. What I think is this tournament is giving an opportunity for kids to do something that they're seeing at the high major level, and for teams to get on a plane, go across the country. We don't have massive budgets. We can't do a bunch of these, but I think to be able to do these and have the big time where you're at, Oregon Tech and Grace and Bethel and Northwest Christian Bushnell, these are big programs. These are big time facilities, big time coaches, great history. So I think just the experience itself is pretty special.
I've seen the breakdown. I know it's 7 national championships will be playing on this floor this weekend. I can't remember how many conference championships, but also each one of these teams at their root has a long history that is rooted in a long time historic coach, obviously with Jim Kessler here at Grace, Danny Miles, Mike Lightfoot, and then I apologize to Eddie at Bushnell. I can't remember the coach there, but these are all historic programs.
Yeah, it's all of us coaches are walking into that where they weren't gone very long ago.
Yeah.
This is my 4th year taking over for Coach Kessler. Coach Lightfoot retired maybe a year before that, and obviously Danny had just retired as well. Justin took over, so it's pretty cool because we're the next guys, and I think it's impossible to fill those shoes of legends. What you try to do is you just try to take what the program already is and just expand on that. And obviously those other coaches have done a really good job with that, and hopefully we can do the same.
It's going to be a great experience for the fans because these aren't only 4 great programs, but these are 4 great programs that do things the right way. Talk about what a treat it'll be for fans, and how affordable it is, and we should talk about the game times and such. We need to get people out here and stuff this place full.
Well, it's, Justin and I were talking about this the other day. He said, man, it feels like a lot of people care about, NAIA basketball around here and small college basketball in general. And I said, well, it's also, that's what predominantly is around here, right?
Yeah.
And so what you see is these talented young men who are big time athletes and big time skill. Not all of them are going to Indiana. Not all of them are going to Purdue and Notre Dame. There's so much talent around here, and some of them want a Christian education. Some of them are looking for something a little different, and to be able to, provide that. And when people come to a game, that's the most interesting thing. Is if you're a first time NAI, and especially from the Crossroads standpoint, first time you watch a Crossroads game, most people leave there going, "Holy cow!" Like I was not prepared at the level of offense, the skill, the tactician, just all the things that cut the gym, right? Come into the facility, there's people that come in this facility and go, "Are you kidding me? I didn't know this existed."
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. It's the experience. It's about giving these kids an opportunity, again, to just make the big time where they're at. And I think those programs, that are playing in this tournament, they try to do the same thing, right? It's a great, it's $10, $5 online, to see 2 games and see 4 quality teams with a bunch of just guys that are going to make money playing basketball when they're done if they want. Pretty cool, right?
Yeah, I say all the time, NAIA basketball is the best entertainment value in America. It's kind of my tagline, but I mean it. Look at this weekend. You can come out on Friday or Saturday, bring your family. It's going to be $40, half the cost of filling up your car. You're going to get a double header. I'm serious. I don't think there is a better entertainment value in America.
Yeah, and that's what we want, right? You want to make prices across the country. Everything's up. Gas is up. Everything is expensive, and to be able to get, especially for the kids that come and be able to sit down for $10 and watch just these guys. These are their heroes, right? They can't touch and talk to LeBron James or some of these NBA guys, but they can see Elijah Malone up close. They can talk to the twins, right? They can sit right behind and see the Bethel guys and the Oregon Tech guys, and that's their heroes.
Yeah.
And I think that it brings you back when you're 8, 9, 10, 12 years old, where you're like, hey, that's who I want to be when I grow up. And it makes the jersey even more special, right? So it gives something that our guys, when they put on that Grace jersey and they're representing something a little bit bigger than themselves, it all comes with the experience.
And that, as a young man, that's what kind of sucked me into it, was you get to know who all the players are, you get to know their families, you get to know the coaching staff, and they feel like family. If you go to an IU game, you're going to see some great basketball.
For sure.
And it has its place, right?
Absolutely.
But you're not going to have that personal family relationship. Talk about what it means to Grace College to host this tournament.
Yeah, this is huge for us. I mean, I want you to know, my athletic director, I was able to talk to Coach Briscoe when we brought this up about a year ago, and there was no hesitation. He said, let's do it. Let's make it happen. If those teams are willing, we'll try to, take care of some things. So I think the commitment from the other teams and coaches, first off, was pretty awesome, how quickly that turned over. And then, for us, just to be able to always show off the facility and just to be able, this is a great place to play and watch basketball. And so is Oregon Tech, and we got an opportunity, obviously, to go out to Klamath Falls next year and do the same thing.
We'll all be waiting for you.
Yeah, I bet. Hopefully we can get this one, and then we'll put a little side bet on next year or something like that. But it is big for us. It's big for our school. There's a lot of publicity going on. There's a lot of buzz going on right now within campus and then outside Winona Lake and Warsaw area. So it should be fun.
So as the host coach, I want to settle a controversy. Draven says if one of the games ends in a tie, he wants to end it with a free throw contest with the opposing coach.
Well, luckily, I'm not playing Draven, so I'm all for that because I'm not winning that one against Draven. That's the one thing he will, 10 out of 10 times, Steve Draven will beat me in a free throw contest. I can promise you that.
And if you don't know it, not only was he the leading free throw shooter when he played, but he's still one of the best free throw shooters in college basketball history.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I don't think you want either of us doing anything on the court basketball anymore. I think we may look the part, but trust me, The older I get, the better I used to be, is what I usually tell people. My stories start to fabricate a little bit more. But no, it's fun, man. Steve, I'm excited. I'm excited for Bethel to join us in this. Grace and Bethel is a rivalry.
Right.
It's something that Coach Lightfoot and Coach Kessler over those years, and now for Steve and I, we're friends and legit coaching friends and friends off the court. And when we battle against each other, we're going to battle against each other. And I'm not going to talk to them for the 24 hours, and that's fun. But these types of things are neat. And also the Oregon teams, right? I know Bushnell and Oregon Tech are going to be cheering for themselves and each other,
right,
to come out and be able to knock off Crossroads teams. And that also is kind of cool, that two conferences that are traditionally powerhouse conferences, to kind of have some bragging rights a little bit.
Yeah, now it's unconfirmed, but it sounds like the historic coaches, Coach Kessler and Coach Miles, are getting in on the action.
Yeah, I
a little
heard
bit.
there's a rumor that's been going around that Coach Kessler and Coach Miles spoke on the phone and have a little side wager. No money was involved. He made sure that I need to make sure that I say that. But apparently, this is where Bethel comes in play too. If the Crossroads teams win by a larger margin, point spread than the Cascade teams do, then there's a little exchange in goods. I think Coach K is doing some Indiana popcorn, maybe some sweet popcorn he can send that way, sweet corn, and then if not, I think if Cascade loses, something about some pears are pretty good over there.
Some Bartlett pears.
Bartlett
yeah.
pears, okay. I trust it. Hopefully we can get some pears sent this way.
But all joking aside, isn't it great to see those great historic coaches get involved and really want to be part of this?
Yeah, it's special. It's you're talking about 40 plus years. Danny has over 1,000 wins. Coach K's 800 wins. But to do something that long the right way, it's just unheard of, right? To be at a job, the same job for 10 years now is uncommon, especially as a coach.
Yeah.
And you're talking about, Coach, I don't know how long Danny did it there, but, Coach was 42, I believe, here at Grace. And he's going to give our prayer for the meal on Thursday. We're having a banquet, which is going to be pretty neat for the kids. And I asked if he would speak a little bit on behalf of just NAI basketball and what it's meant to him and the programs a little bit. So he's going to do that, and I think Danny's going to do the same thing when we go to Cleveland next year.
I was doing some research this morning, and the three teams, Bethel, Oregon Tech with Danny Miles, and then you guys with Kessler, almost 3,000 wins between those coaches. Almost real close to 3,000.
And more than that, so many more lives just touched, right? So many young men. Coach K will tell you he has all daughters biologically, but he's got a lot of sons, and I think that was always special for him. Where he didn't have a son of his own, and we were all his boys. And even to this day, I'm his boy, and I'm 37 years old, but it's as if I was still playing for him yesterday. So those three guys, I think in general, you can talk to any former player that went through those programs and graduated for those guys, and they tell you the same thing.
Well, Scott, I really appreciate you taking the time to sit down and talk about this tournament. I know I'm pretty excited about it. If you're anywhere in the Warsaw area, within 50, if you're in Fort Wayne, come over. Wherever you are, I don't care where you are, get over here to Winona Lake this weekend. Friday and Saturday, they're double headers, $10 to get in. Some of the best basketball being played in the country this weekend. Get over here.
It's going to be fun, man. We're excited.
Thank you. It's Scott Moore, head men's basketball coach at Grace College. Thank you.
Thanks, bud.